Hi, welcome to Snake Therapy. I'm Shira, and this is Elora, the Japanese rat snake. In today's episode, we're going to get real. We're going to address something that everyone can relate to: stress. Can snakes help us with stress management? Let's slither on into it to find out. I'm exhausted. It feels like there just aren't enough hours in the day, and I can't keep up with all the things I need to do in my life. 2 jobs? No, 3. 4? Well, only one that really pays any of my bills. Let's see. 2 companies I work with for my consulting business, this channel, and keeping up with writing and shooting and editing content and graphic designing and managing social media. My metalwork, making the things and taking photos of the things and editing the photos of the things and shipping out the things and doing the website design and the promotion. Oh, and being the treasurer and data manager and going on gigs for a nonprofit organization. And then there are 9 snakes, a dog, some fish, and 8 million houseplants to care for, a house that needs upkeep, not to mention an amazing husband that really deserves more of my energy and time. And I feel like I'm always about to fail at least one of these things. I don't have a social life. I live 3,000 miles from my family, and my dad has been in and out of the hospital. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. I love my life, and I know I am so blessed. I have all that I could ever want. I have food, clothes, and a roof over my head, and a partner who loves and supports me, but I'm freaking stressed out. I've been clenching my jaw so tight in my sleep that I wake up with headaches. But you know what? I just had these 2 insane work days back to back where there were so many meetings and client requests and to-dos, and my brain was just fried. And at the end of it, I realized that there were all sorts of other things that still needed to get done. And I felt like I was this rope that was pulled so taut, and I didn't know where the energy was going to come from. But instead of moving on to the next thing, because there's always the next thing, I went straight to Elora's enclosure and took her out. I sat myself down with her, and I just focused on her. And being new to me and a baby means that she needs to be handled with care and attention. Yet the attention she required from me was like the polar opposite of the kind I needed for everything else. In order to work with her, I had to be still and as calm as I could be to set her at ease. And you know what? Not only was she totally chill, she caused my focus to narrow down to a point where everything else fell away. My heart had been going a mile a minute, and I realized that it had completely slowed down. My breathing went from these shallow gasps to deep and steady. And she just moved between my fingers, and it felt like the most gentle, comforting feeling I'd ever felt. And I just sat there admiring her and talking to her and appreciating her. And that was all that mattered. And when I put her back, I moved slowly and deliberately, and I let her ease off my hands back into her enclosure in her own time, and I felt no need to rush her. And when I closed those doors, I felt changed. I felt like maybe I'll make some tea before I dive into the next thing. I felt like my brain had cleared and my shoulders weren't up at my ears anymore. And that next thing, I could handle it. It would be okay. I would just do my best, and that would be enough. That is snake therapy. It's not just some silly notion I came up with. It's real. It has tangible, measurable effects. Today's episode isn't going to be a long, in-depth exploration because today I think that what I just showed you should be enough to convince anyone, even someone who has a bias against snakes, that these animals can truly act as healers for us. Today, thanks to my snakes, I'm going to take a deep breath and remind myself that it's all okay and that this is enough and that I have at least one less thing to stress about. Please let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced anything like this. If time with your snakes or any other animals in your life has brought you relief or comfort when you are feeling stressed or anxious. And if you're not someone who has snakes, I want to know if you feel like this has shown you the power that these animals have to offer us therapeutic experiences. Please subscribe and like the video before you go, and remember to take some deep breaths. Take some time for mindfulness and connection with whatever it is that brings you comfort. It's all going to be okay. I'm Shira, and this is Elora. We'll see you next time for more snake therapy.